Hello, friends, and welcome to Load of Crock. We are at that time of year again. Super Bowl Sunday is upon us. And you might recall 2 years ago, I was crying in my beer because my Niners lost to the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. And it's been a tough season. I mean, we were nowhere near the playoffs this year, so that part. But more than that, the same teams are going to the Super Bowl this year that went 2 years ago. Eagles, Kansas City, and it's just bringing back a lot of memories and not great ones. And so I could venture a guess that maybe some of you watching might be in the same boat. Because of that, this year's Super Bowl for me is going to be about the food. Yes. So on this episode of Load of Crock, we're going to dip into the food side of the Super Bowl because we're making pizza dip in the crock pot. Okay, friends, for this recipe, you'll need cream cheese, shredded mozzarella, 2 cups, about 3/4 of shredded parm, some pizza sauce, 14-ounce jar, Italian seasoning, about 1.5 cups of pepperonis, and some bread for the dipping. Place your softened cream cheese in the crock pot and then add in about 3/4 cup of your pepperonis, your 3/4 cup of Parmesan, 1 cup of the shredded mozz, a tablespoon-ish of your Italian seasoning, and then pour over that jar of pizza sauce. You'll put it on low for 2 hours. After the first hour, you're going to give it a good mix and then put it back on, and it's going to look like this. Then you're going to add that other cup of the shredded mozzarella, and then following this, you'll add on the pepperonis, put it back on low for about 30 minutes, and it's going to be ready to go. Okay, friends, so a few tips that I want to share with you as I made this. So you saw in the overhead, I put everything in together. My cream cheese, though, was really nicely softened. I put it out a couple hours before, so that was key because I felt like that contributed to it just melting and getting into that mixture a lot faster and easier. So after an hour, I gave it a really good mix and got everything nicely mixed up on the bottom of the crock pot, then put it back on low for another hour. And around that 2-hour mark is when you'll start to see it kind of crisp up around the edges and have that nice like pizza creamy base on the bottom. And that's when I then put the rest of the shredded mozzarella on, along with some extra pepperonis, and I put it back on low for about 30 minutes till everything was nicely melted, and it was beautiful. Crunchy bread's gonna be your go-to here. I had little pieces of crunchy bread that I put in the oven, got them all crispy. You can either truly dip it as a dip, or you can take it out and spread it on, put them out as appetizers. It is phenomenal. Also, leftover alert. If you have leftovers, a really fun thing, and I say fun meaning like fun for your belly. You can take the leftovers, get a 12-pack of the mini Hawaiian buns, slice them down the middle, put that mixture across the bottom of them, throw in some mozzarella over the top, maybe some extra pepperonis, put the top of the buns back on, throw it in the oven at 350, 10 to 12, 15 minutes till everything's nice and gooey. And then you've got like these pull apart like sliders. So good. Also, really easy recipe to double. If you've got a bigger crock pot, the one I use is an 8-quart, which would be perfect. 6 would probably work really well too. Double it up, double everything, and it works all the same. And you'll have a nice big vat of pizza dip. So that's it, my friends. That's the Super Bowl dip this year. Thanks to all of you who are subscribed and watching this Load of Crock channel. Continue to be so grateful for everybody's interest. As always, this recipe, along with all of our others and tips and tricks, can be found at myloadofcrock.com. So now, this year, instead of crying in my beer, I'm gonna have a beer for the Super Bowl. And instead of cheering for a team, you'll hear me cheering, Go Food. That's right. Check out this pizza dip in the crock pot.